Winning the lottery, for many people, is the sweetest dream. A ticket worth just a few euros could make you a millionaire overnight. No more money worries, no more 9-to-5 job, just freedom, luxury, and the life you've always imagined. But here's the shocking truth. Most lottery winners end up broke, and often worse off than before they ever had money. They lose their fortune, their families, their sense of purpose, and sometimes even themselves. Take the true story of Jack Whitaker, an American who won $315 million, one of the biggest jackpots in history. He drove a Rolls-Royce, lived in a mansion lined with gold, and burned money on wild parties. But just 4 years later, he was bankrupt, divorced, his granddaughter had died from drug addiction, and he had fallen into deep depression. When asked about winning the lottery, he simply said, "I wish I had never won." And the scariest part? Jack wasn't the only one. So what really happens after the big win? Why does something that looks like heaven turn into a nightmare? What are we missing when we look at wealth and luck from the outside? If you find this topic worth thinking about, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Because right after this, we're going to dive into the real reasons why lottery winners often end up poor again, and the important lessons we can all learn, whether we ever win the lottery or not. If you think stories like this are just a matter of bad luck, then you should know. This situation happens again and again, all over the world, affecting all kinds of people, from factory workers and taxi drivers to even well-educated professionals. The problem doesn't lie in winning the lottery itself, but in how people deal with money when it arrives too fast, too easily. There are 4 common reasons why lottery winners often fall into tragedy. The first reason is that they spend like billionaires, but still think like someone who's never had money. Easy come, easy go. The second reason is that they are quickly surrounded by people asking for money, exploited, and pushed into isolation, to the point where many cut ties with their own family and friends. The third reason is a lack of financial literacy. They may have lots of money but no idea how to manage or invest it, so within a few years, it's all gone. And finally, many quit their jobs immediately after winning, believing they no longer need to strive for anything, only to fall into a psychological vacuum, losing direction, purpose, and eventually, their drive to live. All of these combined form the perfect recipe to go from rich to broke. Now, we're going to break down these 4 main reasons in more detail. No fluff, no preaching, just real eye-opening insights that show why the dream of getting rich overnight often turns into a nightmare. I want you to understand the root of the problem, and more importantly, to take away lessons you can apply to your own life. Because this isn't just the story of lottery winners, it's a story about how we face money, luck, and our own lives. Reason 1. Spending like a billionaire, but thinking like someone who's never had money. One of the biggest mistakes lottery winners often make is assuming that the money they have will last forever. They spend as if it's a once-in-a-lifetime windfall, but lack the financial mindset to realize that no matter how much money you have, it can disappear quickly if you don't set limits. The "I'm rich now" mentality pushes them into a lavish lifestyle right away, buying mansions, luxury cars, expensive watches, extravagant vacations, without thinking about tomorrow. The core issue here is that they change their spending level, but not their mindset. The financial thinking of someone who grew up with little is often, "If I have it, I'll spend it," or "spend so others know I'm rich." This causes them to live like billionaires, but without the skills to manage wealth like one. A classic example is Michael Carroll, a garbage collector in the UK who won $9.7 million at the age of 19. He immediately started spending recklessly, buying a big house, throwing wild parties, pouring money into cars, gambling, and alcohol. Within less than 10 years, his entire fortune was gone. In the end, Carroll had to return to working as a laborer, and later admitted he was actually happier with nothing. Carroll's story proves one thing. The problem isn't how much money you have, but the mindset you carry when you have it. If you still think like someone who's always been broke, Even millions won't build a future. You'll just slowly burn through your luck. So what's the solution? When you come into a large sum of money, the first step isn't spending, it's learning. Learn how to build a personal financial plan, how to allocate money toward long-term goals, how to delay gratification. Instead of upgrading your lifestyle, upgrade your mindset. Truly wealthy people don't spend to prove they're rich. They use money to build freedom and long-term security. A financial advisor, a simple investment strategy, or even a disciplined savings plan may not be flashy, but they'll last far longer than any luxury car. Reason 2. Being asked for money, taken advantage of, and living in isolation. Money doesn't just change your life, it changes the way people see you. For lottery winners, this shift happens fast. Overnight, they become a walking wallet in the eyes of many around them. Family, friends, neighbors, even complete strangers. Everyone has a reason to ask for help, a loan, or just a piece of the prize. It starts with small requests, then grows. Eventually, winners feel they can't say no, out of guilt, pressure, or fear of being judged. The psychological pressure builds up as they realize the more people they help, the more people come asking. Worse, some are taken advantage of by their own relatives, faking illnesses, staging hardship, even filing lawsuits to demand a share. The joy of winning quickly turns into a psychological nightmare. They no longer know who's a real friend and who's just there for the money. Many end up cutting off contact with family, changing their phone number, moving homes, just to find some peace. But peace doesn't mean happiness. It often means loneliness. They can't share their joys or fears with anyone because the trust in their relationships is gone. From being a normal person, they become isolated in the very life they once dreamed of. One of the most tragic examples is the story of Jack Whittaker, a businessman from the US who won $315 million in the Powerball lottery in 2002. After claiming the prize, he publicly announced that he would give generously to family and charities. But this only made him a target for greed, exploitation, and a series of unimaginable tragedies. Whittaker was bombarded by requests for money, from former co-workers, friends, to complete strangers who made up sob stories. He once said he received hundreds of letters and calls a day, begging for help. At first, he gave millions to churches, friends, and relatives, but the more he gave, the more people tried to take. He was robbed multiple times. In one case, more than $500,000 in cash was stolen from his car while stopping at a gas station. And that wasn't the only incident. He often carried large amounts of cash for protection, which made him a constant target for theft. The tragedy peaked when his granddaughter, Brandy Bragg, died of a drug overdose at 17. After the lottery win, she was spoiled with luxury, but drawn into a world of parties and substances. Not long after, her boyfriend also died of an overdose. The family fell apart. Whittaker's wife left him, and he sank into depression, alcoholism, and debt. In a television interview, when asked how he felt about winning the lottery, Whittaker didn't hesitate to say, "I wish I'd torn that ticket up. My life was good. Then the money ruined everything." Whittaker's story is a powerful reminder. Money itself isn't evil, but it amplifies everything: your problems, your relationships, and your inner self. Without mental preparation and clear boundaries, a lottery winner doesn't just risk losing money, they risk losing their family, their trust, and even their sense of self. Reason 3. Lack of investment knowledge and financial management. Many lottery winners suddenly become overnight millionaires, but they lack the financial knowledge or skills to handle such a massive amount of money. And the most dangerous part? They don't even realize they don't know. When you come into a large fortune without a solid financial foundation, you're likely to fall into bad decisions, investing in vague or risky businesses, lending money to friends without contracts, going into business with the wrong people, or even worse, letting the money sit in a bank account and thinking it's safe. People often think having money is enough, but the truth is, keeping money is the real challenge. Without budgeting, planning, or control over expenses, they spend recklessly until the money's gone, and most don't even notice until it's too late. A famous example is Evelyn Adams, an American woman who won the lottery twice in 1985 and 1986, collecting over $5 million. Within just a few years, she lost everything due to poor investments, reckless spending, and lending money without proper safeguards. She tried opening a nail salon, invested in real estate, but without business experience or financial control, everything collapsed. Eventually, she ended up living in a trailer park, from multi-millionaire to homeless. What people like Evelyn have in common is this: they were never taught how to manage money. Schools don't teach it, families rarely talk about it, and society doesn't emphasize it. So when money arrives suddenly, they don't know what to do, except spend it, or hand it over to someone else to decide for them. And when the money's gone, they finally realize financial literacy and mindset are what build lasting wealth, not luck. So what's the solution? Before spending or investing a single dollar, lottery winners should work with professional financial advisors, not just any friend or relative who knows a bit about money, but certified experts who can help them plan long-term. Taking time to learn basic financial principles like budgeting, taxes, investing, and risk management is also crucial. It's not about becoming a Wall Street expert, but about knowing enough to protect yourself. Because without knowledge, even $100 million can disappear. But with the right mindset and discipline, that fortune can last a lifetime, or even longer. Reason 4: quitting your job and losing your sense of purpose. When someone suddenly comes into a large sum of money, one of the first things many lottery winners think is to quit their job. They believe, I don't have to work anymore. This money will last me a lifetime. It sounds reasonable, but in reality, stepping away completely from work, from goals, responsibilities, and personal effort, is often the first step toward a dangerous kind of emptiness. Work is more than just a source of income. It gives people structure, purpose, social connection, and a sense of contribution. When those things disappear, lottery winners can easily find themselves lost. No reason to get up in the morning, nothing to strive for, and no one to share the journey with. At first, it may feel like a well-earned vacation, but over time, boredom, isolation, and even depression can begin to take root. Many winners have said that after quitting their jobs, they felt like they had fallen into a void, living in a beautiful home, spending money freely, but with an empty mind and meaningless days. Some turn to alcohol, gambling, parties, or other short-term pleasures just to fill the void. And the deeper they fall, the more they lose themselves. A clear example is Lara and Roger Griffiths, a British couple who won over $1.8 million. After winning, they quit their jobs, bought a luxury home and sports cars, and spent lavishly on travel and a spa business. But lacking experience and long-term planning, everything fell apart. They divorced, lost all their winnings, and had to return to their previous lives, only with far more emotional damage than before. Their story is a strong reminder that quitting your job without a clear direction is like letting go of the steering wheel of your life. Money can buy freedom, but it can't buy purpose. Without a sense of progress, contribution, or personal growth, free time becomes a sweet trap that leads to mental and emotional decline. So, what's the solution? You don't have to stay in a job that drains you or no longer fits who you are. But don't rush to retire from life before you have something meaningful to replace it. If you're fortunate enough to come into wealth, give yourself time to rest, but also think about building a new, purpose-driven lifestyle. That might mean pursuing a long-lost passion, learning a new skill, or getting involved in community work, volunteering, or mentoring. The key is to keep yourself growing, contributing, and having something to look forward to every day. Additionally, seek help from a therapist or financial advisor to rebuild your life in a balanced way, not just financially, but emotionally as well. Keep parts of your old routine, stay connected to people who truly care about you, and above all, Don't let money take away the most valuable thing of all, the meaning in your life. There's a powerful quote worth remembering. If you can't manage 10,000, you won't be able to hold on to 10 million either. It might sound extreme, but countless lottery winners across Europe have proven it to be true. Because the real issue isn't how much money you have, it's the mindset and the skills you bring when that money arrives. Just look at people who built their wealth from scratch, entrepreneurs, freelancers, small business owners. They've been through tough months where every euro counted. They've lost sleep over investment decisions, faced failure, and learned how to recover. That journey built their financial discipline, inner resilience, and a deep respect for the real value of money. So when they finally have €1,000,000, they know how to turn it into 2. Instead of spending it like they're getting revenge on poverty. Now compare that to someone who suddenly comes into millions from a lottery win. Their lifestyle changes overnight before their mindset ever has a chance to catch up. They skip the entire learning process, the mistakes, the discipline, the slow growth. All the things self-made wealth forces you to go through. And without that foundation, no matter how much money they have, they still operate with the mindset of someone afraid it will disappear. And sure enough, it often does. So if you've ever thought winning the lottery would change everything, think again. Money can buy comfort, but it can't buy mindset, discipline, or purpose. If you're not mentally and emotionally prepared to live like a wealthy person, that money won't save you. It will only magnify every weakness you already had when you were broke. In the end, winning the lottery doesn't make you rich. It only puts you in the position of a rich person. Whether you truly become one or not depends entirely on how you live, think, and choose afterward. Luck can come suddenly, but sustainability is never accidental. It comes from awareness, discipline, and the understanding that keeping money has never been as hard as keeping yourself. So if you're hoping for that one lucky ticket to change your life, ask yourself, if luck really came, would I be ready to hold on to it? And if the answer is no, then maybe what you need isn't luck, but a plan, a journey, growth. Because changing your life with money is easy, but keeping your life intact afterward, that's the real challenge. If this story gave you something to think about, leave a like to support the channel and share this video with someone you think needs to hear it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more videos like this, deeper, more real, about money, life, and becoming the best version of yourself.